There we go. I think we're good. Excellent. We're live with episode 2 of Chasing Adventure. For those who missed episode 1, I would say good for you, but it's probably just going to get stranger from here.
Or be really touching. Who knows?
True.
We don't want to be strange and touching at the same time. That's a little weird.
No.
I don't think our world could be summarized, but who wants to do their best?
It's a donut.
It's a donut world. That planets and suns
rotate to the center of. That's where the dwarfs come from, as they let down a bridge every time their asteroids come through.
Mm-hmm.
The Fae exist and have been invading through portals, which are definitely called sprinkles. And there's a ring of volcanoes around the edge of the world called the Clays.
Yeah, it's a donut world.
Yep, It is a donut.
Skeletons are illegal.
Yes, but only specifically
only
skeletons. All other forms of necromancy are fine. For some reason.
We've got an astronomer's guild and a wanderer's guild.
A hobo's guild.
Right, and the second wave of Chosen, after the first wave all got disappeared somehow, but at
no
least
one knows what happened to them. They're just gone. Yeah.
The bad thing didn't happen. That's all we know.
Yeah. There was no bad thing, so it's fine.
The bad thing we were aware of didn't happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as we know, everything's fine.
Yep.
Bad thing. Everyone's memories is erased and redone. Yeah, okay.
Yep. And there were pirates.
Not anymore.
Ghost pirates.
No more pirates.
They're ghost pirates, so they're still kind of around.
Yeah, I got a hat out of the deal, so.
The ghost hat?
Two of us favor the ghost pirates.
Can your hat go through walls?
It is a normal hat
I'm gonna
now.
go with...
Yeah, because it became material after the captain left.
Yep.
Still,
Captain took the ghostliness with him.
Yeah, it would be silly, though, to have a hat that could go through walls.
Well, you wouldn't be able to wear it.
Yeah, you just throw it.
You can wear the hat, but also it goes through walls.
Mm-hmm. Not that you can move it to a wall if it's just stuck on the floor and nothing can interact with it.
Yeah, only the hat can go through
You go to hang up your hat on like a hat rack and it just falls.
But the ghost of a person knows how to do person things.
So you think the ghost of a hat will know how to do?
Yeah, the ghost
things?
of a hat would know.
You don't know if the hat is a ghost. The pirate
and the hat would know how to hang on a hook. It does hat things.
I know the perfect person to ask. It would be the hat box ghost from Haunted Mansion.
Okay. Anything else to talk about before we jump in? I finished Kenobi and worked a bit more on my upcoming, not really just kind of ideas, Star Wars role-playing game, because there could never have enough Star Wars role-playing games in the world. That's it for me.
I've been trying to plug away. I've hit a brick wall with the Chasing Adventure playbook I'm working on. I'm not sure what else to add.
Might I suggest writing our other thing? You're not sure what to do next.
That's true.
Been dabbling a little bit in that, yeah.
Our community project that someone has to start filling boxes in before I make them silly.
Oh no.
It's a race against. We start a clock that is finish the game before Indigo makes it silly.
Yep.
It's becoming increasingly silly.
Yeah.
I've been working on that a little bit, and a modification to West Marches.
5th edition West Marches? Or what type?
Sorry?
Like what type?
5th edition. Right now it's 5th edition specific, but I'm going to try to make it more generic after I finish the overall concept. But basically, because I've got a couple more players than I can handle, I'm going to institute a max player character level, and basically the player has the experience track of every adventure they go through, and that ups the max player character or max character level that they can create for an adventure. And then every adventure will consist of the lowest max character level player's level, so that everyone has an ability to level up. It'll cause probably a lot of level 1 to 5 adventures for the first 2 or 3 months.
Honestly, those are usually the most interesting, with my own
Yeah.
experience with D&D.
Yeah, I usually don't care about high level adventuring in D&D. Like I just
Yeah.
super don't care about it.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
it's good too, because after level 12 it gets hinky.
Jordan and I recently abandoned our Curse of Strahd campaign, and it was mostly because combat at level 9, I think everyone was approaching 8 or 9. It started getting like complicated.
Well, it's also the fact that it was a pre-written adventure, and it's like, hey,
That was
here's
a big
like
part of
there's
it, too.
no sense of like
Here's combat.
you can't take this.
Here's more combat. And yeah,
Last night I ran for my local group. It was the boss fight to end a character arc at level 9. It took 3.5 hours.
I've had multi-session boss fights before.
But at the same time, I'd like to get a campaign where I got the highest level I've ever been is level 8, and that's about triple the highest I've ever gotten anywhere else. So it would be nice to at least get those pretty shiny, you're a high level
abilities
character
and things,
bubbles
and
that
yeah,
they
the novelty is good.
Yeah,
But it
that's
becomes
the goal with my group actually, is to hit level 20, because I don't think I've ever run a D&D campaign all the way through. Just to do it.
Yeah, Spencer and I did, but that's just because I think early on Spencer's like tripled XP.
I basically was like, okay, we're going to go with milestones, and we're going to basically double all XP gains, and also we're going with some bits in there that'll give more XP, and like, just let's get from 1 to 20 and have it not take 3 years. It took
3 to 4
2.5 years, but that included some breaks.
Yeah, we play probably once a month on average.
Oh yeah,
at this point.
That would take a lifetime.
We're 2 years in and just at level 10 last night.
Okay.
But I'm pure milestone. Like, when you complete a goal that changes the setting, because it's very narrative, like character focused setting. You do something that changes the setting, you get a level.
That would work.
So if you find a shortcut, good for you. Like, they actually, this boss fight, they skipped over probably 6 sections of content that I had planned out because they found the shortcut.
Their creativity.
Yeah. Things get weird at 20, though. When you're at really high level, we all know, I'm sure we're all aware, D&D kind of breaks down in terms of balance the higher level you get. At one point, I just ignored CR, and then I just put a spreadsheet of like, okay, assuming they always hit, because generally that you tend to have a higher and higher hit chance as you level up in 5th edition specifically. What's their damage output per round for the whole party? And then I calculated that, and I used that kind of as my base thing. How many rounds I want this to last, how much damage I want to give back, how much damage the party take. I did my own balance calculations. And then the final boss fight for that campaign, I think calculated out to like CR 32 or something is what it ended up being. And that, it was honestly well balanced. I think it was basically 1 round from killing everyone when I died.
Well, yeah, the boss fight I ran last night was a CR 14 boss monster with a Rakshasa, I think it was level 7, and 10 minions.
Nice.
I think that's my least favorite
no one
part
died.
about D&D.
Minions or the CR or anything?
Just how big it gets. Like, the story stops, and I like where you feel like you're a real person the whole time, and you lose that and become something otherworldly by the time you get level 10. So you're halfway through the game, you can sunder a castle by yourself.
Yeah.
With like a couple well-placed magic spells, you can destroy the moon. That's halfway through the game.
Yeah,
you reached the halfway point, and the moon is no longer safe. Like, I don't understand. But how to play a character that could do that if that was the plan.
Yeah, I mean, I know. I think I even remember being like 14 and feeling like powerful, like at level 14.
Oh yeah.
But I just it came back to me the last thing for the last boss fight because we went in there once before, but our wizard cast what is that spell? That
Is it
like your soul leaves your
simulacrum or
body.
clone? Clone, I think.
No. Your soul leaves your body. It's like
Magic jar.
Oh,
no.
the like
There's
scout
so many
ahead one.
goofy wizard nonsense garbage
Yeah.
spells.
It's the one where you're like connected by a tether to your body.
Yeah,
Oh, that's like a
astral
projection
astral
one.
projection, I think.
Astral projection. So
Yeah.
we like astral projected to the boss fight. We fought a little bit, and because the way astral projection works is if you drop to 0 in that, you just go back to your body, which was in a demi-plane that the wizard
Yeah.
also made.
That's kind
So
of what's
it was
weird. Is like by the time you get to level 20 for some kind of skills, they're just cheat codes. They're not like you're not more powerful. You are broken. And
Yeah, we're now all spirit warriors, and we can't die on that plane. We're
Mhm.
good.
Yeah.
Unless you fight the... But then there's goofy, like, fill-ins to make it feel like you have a challenge. So it's basically just, like, you fight demigods by 15, like, from then on.
that is
nothing else...
what happened.
Yeah, we fought a demigod. That's what happened.
But just, like, a lot of them. Just, like, giant monsters that could also rend castles with their tail. And
Yep.
it's just...
It's the superhero problem. The world spawns villains appropriate to the level of the hero.
Oh yeah.
Pretty much.
It's the Oblivion. It's playing Oblivion all over again.
Yeah, but I want to feel like that guy with a knife that's like hiding in the alley could stab me and kill me at any level. Just like
Yes.
stab me once and I die because that's how knives work.
Yep.
Mhm.
So speaking of fantasy games where you could die at any level from a knife to the stomach.
Speaking of getting shanked in the alley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
So I think we start off with
In an alley?
where we left off, actually.
Okay.
Probably the day after. The whole scene ended. It's the day after last session, and I think we see a point of view shot of the eyes opening for the woman you saved, Priscilla. If I don't know if you recall, because she was literally unconscious the entire time of last session. She seemed to have fallen ill. Priscilla is a merchant. You know that she fled her parents, her family, actually. She went to Sea Dog Haven, a sort of, pirate haven made of like boats tethered together in the middle of a very large. I don't think it was technically an ocean. It might have been an ocean. It might have been like a super large lake, like a Great
It was a
Lake-sized lake.
bay.
Yeah, I think it was a bay. You're right. She got sick, and then you had to escort her through the mists that surrounded the place, which is like you don't go out in the mists because ghost pirates are going to get you. You fought off the ghost pirates. They chased you back to the shore of this village, and then you found a blood doctor to fix the disease by replacing her blood, I believe.
Yeah, it was a blood transfusion.
Yep.
You gotta cycle it out.
Yep, and that'll fix
Get
the
the bad
illness.
blood out, the good blood in. Just normal medicine.
Yep.
The
So we
peak of medical technology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we see
Modern medical
the point of
science
view
has made
shot
this
of
so.
her, waking up. Kind of, she's in a like medieval equivalent of a hospital bed. So I guess she's just on a metal table.
But the building burned down.
I thought no, you stopped it from being burned.
Yeah,
Oh,
it didn't
well,
get burned.
It got burned a little bit. Maybe
It got
not all
like
the way
It's
down.
mildly
singed.
singed. Yeah.
Mhm.
The thatching needs to be replaced.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just in that corner.
Well, I think based on that building, also, she probably actually wakes up in a mock like hospital bed because it's all about the performance of the blood being like drawn out of you. Remember?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was like a
the guy
dentist.
called himself a vampire.
He didn't call himself a vampire. He
He
dressed,
dressed
like
like-
an
Yeah, he
actor.
dressed like a vampire. Yep.
So it's all like black candles giving off red light as she wakes up.
Yeah. So, are any of you there when she wakes up, or have you just pieced out, or are you just waiting outside and like it's just
I
the
mean,
day
what-
after?
I think we
Hmm.
probably went just to sleep in the waiting area or something.
Yeah, we took a nap.
We
I
kind of
think-
retconned the settling in, so.
Oh
Have
yeah,
we
we,
been
decided not to
paid?
like settle in. I mean, she has been unconscious until now, so no, she has not
Okay.
paid you.
I think
Yeah, then
V
I would
would have
still be
stayed.
around.
Yeah, V would have stayed out of like, oh, I need to like make sure she's okay. And freaking Mike on it over here is like, I need money.
No, I mean, just as a general principle, you don't leave until
Yeah.
you get paid. It's not like it's a drive or anything, but
Forgot you were a mushroom.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yep.
Mike the Mikeanid.
Yep. It's great. So she wakes up. She would recognize you, of course, and she says, "Oh, you're." She like kind of looks around, takes in her surroundings, kind of creeped out, looks at herself, and realizes she's feeling a bit better. And she says, "I take it we made it to shore then, and that this is not a. Are you? You're not happen to be a secret cultist, do you?"
No, this is a blood bank. I believe Bert had a punch card to come here. It
I
is
see.
very strange.
Well, I'm feeling a bit better. She like gets up and sort of like I guess stretches and like tries to feel how she is feeling and gets ready to like be standing up.
What does clean blood feel like? I don't
I mean,
know.
imagine it's like blood. Like you don't feel bad.
Like when your blood has been cleaned. Like, what do you feel like afterward?
I'd imagine there's
Ask,
a burst of energy, you know.
yeah,
Like a blood doping kind of like
Yeah, sort of,
rushing of
probably.
heartbeat.
a high of some kind of just like
Euphoria, yeah,
yeah.
probably. Because they probably oxygenate the blood as they pump it in. So
Hmm.
Well, it's definitely aerated. We don't know if they can separate oxygen at this point in history and science.
They barely invented like firearms, so I'm not sure. But necromancy's a
This is
thing.
mostly leather hoses hooked up to brass needles.
Yeah.
So
pumped from a lamb's bladder.
Yeah.
it was a bicycle pump.
Yeah, he
That
was
was
pumping it.
actually a bicycle pump.
Yeah, he pedaled and it pumped the bellow.
Yep. But she gets up, and as she is standing up, the doctor, I don't remember if we named him actually, I don't, let alone what his name was.
Yeah.
Call him Vlad.
Fine, because I know that's gonna end up sticking anyways. Vlad rushes in and he says, "No, no, you should not be out of bed. No, you may be feeling well, but the after effects are still there. Sit down, sit down." And he's kind of fussing over her, and she's like, "No, I'm fine. I feel fine." Um, I think he is able to convince her to like sit down for another 10 minutes while he sort of checks, and starts like, yeah, checking her like body to make sure that it's actually fine. Um, he does so for those few minutes before he says, "Okay, things are mostly good. Um, you are. I forgot to get the relationship between you and all of you. Are you friends, guardians, um, contractors?" I think Priscilla would try to cut in before the rest of you did.
Yeah, at some point around that might choke back up.
I hired them to bring me to safety here, and they did. Job well done. I see. Well, I suppose I'll be telling it to all of you then. Actually, he considers, and he asks Priscilla if she wants to speak to him private, and she says, um, I think whatever you can say to me, you can say in front of them, unless it's especially personal. And he says, yes, well, I suppose you should know that um, I don't believe that this was just a disease, madam. I think you were poisoned. And there's a pause while he waits to see how she reacts. And you just see her like swallow, and her face goes a bit white. She says, "I see. Do you know what?"
What kind of poison?
Yeah.
I raised my hand.
Um, and she, yeah, nods and was about to ask him the same thing. Vlad says, "I'm afraid I'm not sure. I am mostly interested in cleansing blood rather than corrupting it. But I do still have a sample. Most of it was disposed, but when I discovered this, I still have a sample of the corrupted blood that I
Ooh,
can offer you."
yeah, let me test
Yeah.
that.
Yep, he will. He
Can I
will give
use
it.
bardic knowledge to test it?
So bardic knowledge technically says you get to decide what applies. I believe. I'll double check. Um. Let me check. Bardic knowledge.
When you first encounter someone or something that you've heard
Tales, songs, or legends about.
legends.
So have you heard? Yeah. Have you heard tales or songs or legends about a poison like this?
Well, I have to encounter it, so I take a sip and I swirl it around like a wine sommelier, spit it
Make
on
sure
the
you
floor.
aerate it. That might get some of the
Yeah,
the
I
flavor.
bubbles a little bit. Yeah, then I spit it
Mhm.
back on the floor,
You
and
gurgle it slightly. Gargle.
yeah, I remember from my blood tasting class. It's a standard.
It's
It's
where
an
you met
elective.
Vlad, isn't it? That's like
It's an elective.
That is. You're like the one person who wasn't a med student taking bio. Like.
It was like a club event. It's not like a class you just showed up. It was one session where
Mm-hmm.
they put a bunch of bloods in front of you and they go over tasting blood.
Perfect.
Um, this is a poison made from roses. Roses that are poisonous.
Okay. So
That's what I
that
know.
is the
It's a
interesting thing you've heard about
rose-based
it.
poison.
Okay. Um. So I will tell you what else you have heard that complicates things. Okay, this isn't just a rose-based poison. Though these aren't ordinary roses. Some of the forest folk are like they are rose-like people. They have various types of plant people. It is made from like poison that the roses on their body emits.
It's made from dead plant people,
No, living plant people.
living plant people.
living plant
Yes.
people with poison sacs.
Yes.
Yeah,
Poison sac roses. At least they look nice.
Yep. Yep. So that is what you know.
Hmm. Well,
Is
at
there some
least
of that sample left? Because I'd like to take
yeah.
that.
There's
Possibly
I hand you
do
the
a thing
rest
with
of
it
the vial of blood.
when I get a moment.
at
Okay.
least well, we took her away from where the poisoning could have occurred. So
Yes.
in that case, she is safe. No.
I think so, says Priscilla. I was meeting with a lot of people. I'm not sure who could have done it. Is it ingested, do you know, or is it something? And even before she's finished her question, Vlad's like, I'm sorry, I don't know. But I do think, based on the nature of this, that if you wanted any, I have an antidote that could work for the future if it was to come up again. He like looks around to Priscilla first, but then to everyone. Like, any takers? Do you want to buy
Oh,
some antivenom,
did you
antipoison?
run
Want a punch
into
card?
any plant people
There are
I,
some there. Most like
somewhere on the boats?
yes, like everyone in a place like that, most people are not exactly friendly to any other nation, and so that includes some of the. She calls it. I have a name now for the forest folk. Um, they're called the chaparral. Um, and she says, yeah, there are several folk there from the chaparral that fled it long ago,
hmm.
like humans and even a few dwarves.
You remember what they looked like?
Sentient lily pads.
Yeah, she describes, there's probably one that was a sentient lily pad. She describes like there were some that looked like they were just made of like dark brown thorny roots. Um, a Several people who looked like they were almost walking bushes, like leaf covered bushes. Um,
Little Groots?
Kind of, yeah. There were some Groots, basically. Shorter Groots. I don't think they necessarily were as big as Groot. Um, and yeah, of course, she also describes that some of them did have, in fact, flowers growing on them.
Hmm.
Some of the
Those
plant
are
people.
culprits.
But I think there weren't many of them.
I believe the antidote would be sufficient payment for defending your place of business from ghost pirates.
But I already paid for that yesterday. I gave you an additional punch on the punch card.
You
That was
gave
already
Bert
agreed
an
upon.
additional punch on the punch card, not the rest of us.
I believe this is more than fair for the rest of our payment. That was Bert's punch card. As you can see, his name is upon it.
That was
My
part
name
of
is
your
not upon it.
job to defend your liege, master, employer. That one.
We would have been quite capable of defending her without defending the building she was in. We stopped it from catching fire, and you owe us.
Vlad is about to continue protesting when Priscilla actually cuts him off and says, I say I must actually agree with my contractors. Vlad, these people are very good at what they do, and they didn't need to leave your place untouched. I suggest you give them one dose of that antivenom before any bad reputation goes around. Besides, you wouldn't want people like this to go to your competitors. They're in the vein of work where they might need medical treatment every so often. And Vlad's like, yeah, yes, of course. Well, consider it a thank you. And he darkly separates himself from the single dose of antivenom.
He goes like this.
Comes out from the cloak.
Yep.
All right. Thank you, Vlad. Perhaps if we cross paths again and we have good service again, perhaps you could sponsor us, and then we could spread your blood bank far and wide. Perhaps you could franchise.
His eyes narrow when you say that, and he says, No, I had bad experiences with franchising before. You don't know the
I
policies. They always want a cut out of everything.
No, you would be the franchisor, not the franchisee.
Yes, the
You would make the
other franchisees. Parasites.
Now,
asked.
Vlad, let me tell you about something we have in my hometown called an MLM.
How do you NLM blood transfusions though?
Same way you do posh, you just like sell blood to people.
And tell them they'll
In
be
a
able to
pyramid-like
resell it.
scheme.
Here's how you start your blood bank. You buy 20 pounds of blood, not liters, pounds.
Yeah.
Of dehydrated blood
Yeah.
after you
Yeah.
build the
It's blood
treatment
from
center.
concentrate.
hmm
It's too costly to ship the live stuff.
Yeah, volume is a bitch.
Perfect. He says, yes, I know all about it. He waves his hand. He says, I prefer an honest business here. Better for my conscience.
Hmm.
Anyways, I have an appointment in 2 hours, so I best get ready. Go.
Thanks.
I wave. Bye, Vlad. Have fun. cleaning.
He like grumbles to himself as he starts.
Sorry about the window.
Yeah, he starts cleaning up everything going on.
He's got to disinfect an entire surgical theater. Like,
Yeah.
that's not going to be easy.
See,
So-
that's the beauty of a mostly brass and oiled leather system. You can just burn a lot of the germs off.
True.
Yeah, he just replaces the glass and then puts up the heater to like 200 degrees, and then he's
Make the
good.
building out of volcanic rock and just build a bonfire.
Yeah.
Yep. So you all step outside. You're of course now in a morning fishing village. And so there's I believe it was stated that this place is actually quite near the docks. So I think when you step outside, there are probably
It's like one of the boardwalk shops.
yeah, there are several probably about a dozen ships returning with their morning haul, all just like in the process of docking and unloading
And being shocked at the cannonball holes from the ghost pirates.
this is true. I'm pretty sure there was just one. I think there
Ski
ended up
ball
just
stand
being
got
just one.
destroyed.
Oh yeah, the
Yeah.
ski ball stand got taken out by a cannon.
A lone cabbage cart was hit.
Yep. So like it looks like people have been up for some time cleaning it up already. And yeah, Priscilla comes out of course with you and says thank you again. What is the plan
Don't
now?
thank us.
Oh, of course your pay.
Yes.
And she fishes out her pouch of coins, and hands you all a combined 6 wealth to spread amongst yourselves.
Ooh, that's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money. That
6
is
whole guns I could buy.
maybe 3.
So for
Gonna
sure
take-
we each get one.
Yeah, one apiece and just toss the other 2 in a team fund for now until we
Yeah.
split it.
Yeah.
And yeah, she says, I know this wasn't cheap, stealing the boat. She looks like
That was
towards
actually
the
very
docks,
cheap.
and it's like still beached, just right outside the village.
It's not anchored or anything.
No,
just
it's probably
on the
drifted a
beach.
bit, I
It's
think.
just on the beach.
Yeah. And she says, are you gonna take that, or I guess, should I?
Please take it yourself. But speaking of which, where do you want to go next?
Well,
Is our contract finished?
she nods. She says, it was just to get me here. I'll contact you again if I need your services, but... Oh! I wanted to ask something before I left. For Foley, it might take a while. I can buy... You know what? I'll buy everyone breakfast while we talk. For Foley, please tell me everything you can about your people.
That's a lot to offer.
That's
I
rough.
know.
Let's
We're
go to the
born from
breakfast place.
eggs.
They're
The
not
breakfast
eggs. They're
place.
actually rocks, and then in the rocks.
Yeah, people think they're eggs that
Inside a
look like rocks,
geode.
but no, they're
Yeah.
legit. They're just rocks. Yeah, she says that she wants to eventually find a way to establish trade with the dwarves because that's not really a thing.
Mm.
So she's gonna start asking you questions about like customs and anything related to that, even feasibly.
I will do my best to answer honestly and not sillily, as I would, as a person, like to do.
Okay.
So while they do this, I would like to buy everyone's breakfast, not with any wealth, but just go grab it.
Just go take
They are
food.
taking too long.
She buys us entrance into the local breakfast buffet.
Oh, I was thinking street cart.
Street cart.
There's
buffet.
definitely a fish market because everyone's just got back with their
Yeah.
haul.
I was gonna get everyone a bag of fish. Like
Yeah.
grilled
Breakfast
fish. You get everyone
Yay.
gets two brown paper bags, one filled with greasy fish, one that just has the beer in it. It's breakfast. Here we are moving forward.
Okay.
I'm going to excuse myself from breakfast, at least like a part of it.
Yeah.
And because
Which one? The one with mold? Or the one without mold?
I mean, I photosynthesize.
Yeah.
I was just saying,
You
beer
gain
might be
energy in
sacrilegious too because of the
Yeah.
yeast.
True. But yeah, no, I want to sort of disappear into a naturey type area and see if I can commune and get some answers out of where this poison came from.
absolutely.
We'll consult
Um,
the spirits.
Yeah, there's a small like the this is a pretty small out of the way village, and so like you walk 50 feet out of the village and not follow the road, and you're kind of in the middle of the woods. In order to get like deep into nature, you probably have to walk for a few more minutes out of the way. But yeah, before long, you are surrounded with nature.
Okay. I'm just gonna sit down in a shady area and sort of sink some root-like things into the ground and replenish myself and try to commune with nature spirits and see if they can pinpoint this poison for us.
Okay, perfect. Well, this sounds like our first roll of the game. So
It'll
why
be
don't?
bad.
So I was gonna say, once I bring up the, there we go. Why don't you roll
Okay.
with wisdom?
Okay. No advantage. That's a 12.
Perfect. That's very good. So, on a 12, 10 plus, you'll be granted a vision of significance to you, your allies, or the spirits around you, and on a 10 plus, it will be clear and helpful to you. Okay. Um, so I think, I guess my first question to you would be, what, like you're doing this like you've gotten visions before, and this is not something you're unfamiliar with. Is a vision, is it usually like something that is like you talking with a spirit, or is it more of just like a dream and flashes, of like places and people and things?
I think it's more flashes, but these are like primal nature spirits, right? So it might
Mm.
be a bit less clear because it's a foreign mind kind of thing.
Yeah,
It's a clip show from like a cat running through the forest.
yeah. Okay, perfect. Um, so I think you get, in terms of where this poison came from, um, you get a flash of the area within the Chaparral, the Forest folks, lands. You kind of get a flash, more of a like, yeah, where it was made, um, and you can see, um, from the perspective of some kind of very small insect, maybe a worm or a beetle or something, and let's kind of like on the floor. You can see several um, different forest folk are being kept in cages in some kind of cave. Um, they're divided up by, I guess, like type of plant folk. So all of the rose ones are next to each other in one cage, et cetera, et cetera. There's probably 8 or so cages. Um, and you can see that, um, you see a sort of veiled figure. Just you're not able to get a super clear view of who they are, as part of the vision. Will come and, not forcibly extract this poison from them, but like ask for it and is given it, in exchange for some kind of boon or reward. But the nature spirits aren't clear exactly what it is. Um,
Okay.
and yeah, the beetle follows, eventually goes outside of the cave, and you can sort of get a feeling and, familiarity for generally like where this cave is located within the chaparral like lands, which it's usually like they have a great rainforest-esque area. It's often pretty hard to, um, see exactly where in it you are without like knowing the signs, but I think the nature spirits would not have a problem with that.
Yeah, the very pedestrian-friendly
like
city is deep within the forest.
Yeah.
like Beetle goes outside and then it flashes up to like a hawk view maybe and shows me
Exactly.
surrounding area.
Yep. So you get
Okay.
you get the impression that this is somewhere near the outskirts of their like forest. Not near, like, it's kind of like their back country, I guess I'd call it. It's not near the battle lines with the humans, and it's not near their capital at all.
Now, the cloaked figure, do I get any sense of form out of it? Whether it's plant, human, dwarf, mushroom, something?
You do not, but you do get the impression that the cloaked figure, and there are several more cloaked figures outside of the cave. They're all making a bit of an effort to keep um, themselves kind of veiled. Like they're all wearing, like, not always like black, but they're all wearing like long cloaks that cover most of their bodies.
They all have
Typical,
matching leaf pins on
typical
their
rose
lapel.
poison cultists. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they're not necessarily robes, but yeah, cloaks. Heavy. They're strider cloaks, kind of like, just, yeah. Um, and that's what you see.
All right. Well, I'll intrude on breakfast somewhere in the middle of your conversation with rantings and ravings of cloaked cultists.
Is it
Ooh,
possible to scrutinize the conversation? Or is that something that only Vorfoli would be able to do?
If you're there, you can still scrutinize during it. Yeah, absolutely.
Sure, because dice rolls with conditions are great.
What is your goal to do so, I guess, is my question.
He's asking about opening up a market, but I'm curious, okay, why the dwarves specifically? Why uh what alternative motive? Why does he think that this trade would especially be good? And how can we maybe use that information?
Okay. Um, and you're not asking her these questions necessarily. You're just like trying to.
No, I'm just kind of watching, listening, seeing how they are interacting, trying to read the types of questions that she's asking.
Okay. I think that can work. Roll with wisdom.
I don't think I know you're doing this, so I don't know if I can help you do this.
scrutinizing, no, it would be that seems like an in your head activity rather than like a visual thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, in this case, I think probably not.
Okay.
Okay, how many? Disadvantage.
Disadvantage because you have the condition. Yep.
Well, that went well. 3.
Okay, cool.
Oh, it's -1. Okay. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
no, I
-1
rolled
and
a 6 on a
disadvantage. Okay. I think what happens is we probably encounter someone new, though they've been talked about. Um, I think Vorfoli, you hear a like deep, ancient sounding voice in your head as your dragon speaks to you,
Mm.
and it says, I think first off it'll warn you, like, be careful of that one with the sword. He is not what he appears. He carries great danger that follows and surrounds him. Um, and yeah, your dragon is gonna warn you away from Dallen. Um,
Okay, because that's only rolling 2 dice.
did it only
We've
roll two
just
dice?
well, it asks how many dice we want to roll in the prompt, so we just have to remember at disadvantage it's 3 and not 2.
Total number of dice. Yeah. Either way, that just would have made it worse if that was put in.
Yeah.
In this case,
Sure.
so I think that's the first thing that happens. But I think more happens. I think Priscilla notices you're kind of eavesdropping.
Seeing this, can I salvage the situation?
Yeah, she's about to like basically call Dallen out, and
Yeah, I wanna salvage the situation.
okay.
I would like to share a poem about the man who traded with the dwarves to have some historical cultural context for the thing she's trying to set up, that
Mhm.
she's trying to achieve something like mythical. Um, but yeah, so I didn't actually write a poem, but the general concept is some like generic farmer sells his like share of crops to a dwarf he met on an asteroid, saying that, or gets money from a dwarf he met on an asteroid, saying that he has a farm, he just needs seeds to sow it, and then when this planet comes back around, he will get the profits from the first harvest after he buys a new set of seeds. Um, and then when 5 years go by and the dwarf comes back, he hands him a big pile of dwarven gold, and the process continues. And eventually, the moral of the story is the guy was setting up a dwarf-based Ponzi scheme. He had no farm. He was just telling each dwarf in succession the same lie. He needs money for the farm, and ripping the dwarfs off.
Okay.
That's my poem.
Are you trying to convince her, like, abandon this folly kind of thing? Or
I
is
just
this
said
more just distract her from this, from...
more just distractor, and I get points for it, and I can make her think I'm real cool. It's like I have the
So trying
gracious
to earn her favor.
performance thing.
Okay. Well, that sounds, yeah, you are graciously performing, and you are kind
Yep.
of in public. Like, this is happening while you're eating breakfast, so presumably there's other people around.
Yeah, no, I naturally say it loudly. You don't share a poem in
Mm.
quiet.
Okay, roll with charisma. Let's see what we get.
Huzzah! I rolled a 5.
Huzzah!
How to make things worse.
I
Perfect.
forgot some of the lines in the middle.
So, um, you don't get any hold to use on this person.
No.
I think instead she looks aghast and shocked at you. Her interpretation, and I think she just says this, like, "You think I seek to rip the dwarves off? I would never." And yeah, her interpretation is that you're like subtly accusing her of being the scam artist, and she's just like completely insulted, and she says,
This was a
"You know what?
real historical poem.
Thank you
They
for
found
saving
it
me.
carved on a rock.
Thank you for the information. I'm leaving." And she just like stomps away. Doesn't pay for breakfast. Well, she
I've
already would have
seen
paid.
the rock.
Yeah.
Apologies for my companions.
She is like physically walking away right now, even with
If
all
you
this between
stay,
Dallen
I
and...
will tell you a dwarven secret that might help you in negotiations.
Oh, you need to. I think she is honestly really. You're gonna have to try and convince her. I think she looks at
No?
you.
We have not laid groundwork well for this.
No, she looks at you very like. I can probably find that secret elsewhere. Um, do you want to try to compel her?
Yes.
Okay. Last chance, probably. Unless you like tackle her, then she'll leave.
Not tackle the person who just paid us.
I mean, they already paid us. What's it
Yeah.
matter?
No, you have to stay here. Why?
A little
Okay.
bit better than the last one.
So basically, on a 7 to 9, they will only do it if you also favor them afterwards, in addition to giving them the secret.
Sure.
Okay.
What's a dwarf secret I can make up? Ooh, I like this one. It's not that. So the secret is the asteroids. It's not that they're rich with minerals. It's that each asteroid has an entrance to a plane of like riches that they mine from.
There's a plane
Oh,
of gold.
separate
There's
ones.
a
Each asteroid is a
separate.
separate
Each
plane
asteroid
of.
has a separate plane, so there's like the gold plane. There's like the silver plane,
Perfect.
Amazing.
But
which
they're
is why
like
they never run
dungeon.
out.
But they're like dungeon planes. Like they're not. It's not safe in there.
No, yeah,
Perfect.
Is it like the realm of gold where you go into a dungeon and it is just
And it's just
every
and then
dungeon
you come back the next
I
day
was
and the
thinking
gold's
it.
back, but so are the
What's
monsters.
that? What's that
Hmm.
second edition golden weasel with 6 legs?
I do not know this.
A very specific D&D monster. It's the first page in the monster manual because it begins with an A and it's a 6-legged golden weasel.
Yep, I'm looking at it right now. I just need a name for it. The
Arum Vorax.
Yeah, Aurum Vorax. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so yeah,
Yeah,
you
it's
tell her
like-
this, and
yeah.
I
They live
think
there.
she gasps when she says, "I knew it." The people have been talking about this for years about rumors. You, and she like does a double check to see if you're lying to her, and I don't think you are
I've seen
lying
it.
to her.
No, I've seen it myself. I've had to go into a few planes as part of Dwarven Society. You have like your rotations you do, unless something takes you out of the rotation, like what I'm doing now.
Which
You know,
type of riches? They're different, each of them.
each hold has a different access to a different plane.
The sodium one is a real crappy planet.
My plane. I'm gonna write this down because I gotta remember it. My plane was the mythical plane of Mithril.
I see.
Real main character dwarf.
Yeah.
All the
How
best
does one
adventures.
how does one access that? Are the tunnels natural, or you dig out the tunnels to get to the access point?
I'm not sure how they were created. It's
There's a
I
lot of
believe
digging in there.
early
Though.
on.
Kind of like Minecraft, you just dig down far enough and suddenly you're
You dig down far enough, you get what you need is like 12 blocks of mithril that you arrange in a certain way, and then you light it.
And then you light the mithril on fire.
Yep,
Well,
and
I
then it
think
causes a portal.
I think the metal probably would have to leak out of the plane onto the asteroid it's at. So it starts with them mining
The
the metal
mithril.
on the asteroid,
But
and then
that's
they go
just
deep
like
enough,
that's
and
just a sample.
they break through into the actual plane where the real monsters are. So there's like a mithril rabbit or something in there that just boxes you to death.
Yeah.
I think it's like some people think one thing, some people think another, and no one really knows what's for sure.
Even the dwarves
Like,
aren't 100% sure. Okay.
yeah, like it could be like each one just is inherently tied to the whatever plane that is like part of the asteroid, and some other people think ancient dwarven like wizards opened the planes, but then
Space wizards open
yeah, like space
portals.
wizards opened portals and then horribly got murdered, and that's why the planes are still open. No one knows how to close them.
So they just
They
close
open
them by
portals into a,
covering them with asteroids.
Yeah, they got ejected into space.
Yep.
Can you make alloy planes by combining, like smashing two
Nobody's tried
asteroids
that.
into each other?
I don't think anyone's
I think that's
able to try
obviously
that.
how it works. You have to smash the two asteroids into each other, and then you can mine pure bronze.
The bronze plane.
Yep. So, yeah, no, she's very surprised at this news and just says, "I that does change things, but that isn't going to stop me. That means even more so than before, there's an untapped market there."
They need
It just
guns.
helps you not get screwed by saying like, "Oh, we're out of whatever thing you want." They always have enough.
She nods and she says, "Thank you. I still have to go soon. I still have a lot of unfinished business back on the Haven, but I will be a lot more careful with sharing food and drink."
Yeah, to keep that
Are you
antidote
bringing a
on.
bodyguard or something?
I'll
Or are you
probably
just
hire
going
one
back
there.
onto the murder boat?
I'm going back on. I'll probably hire one there.
Seems like a bold move to hire one who can just stab you and leave back to the boat that he started on. no personal stake in keeping you safe.
I know what I am worth, and I'm worth keeping alive. I'm going to hire someone who's smart enough to see that.
We'll hire
All right.
someone who needs you to get home.
I'm not staying on a boat. I'm staying on the town of boats.
Yeah,
It's
but if you
fine.
buy someone on the boat, they're already home. There's no
I think what my
travel.
companion is trying to say is hire a mercenary here and then boat there. That way, they need you alive to boat back.
Yeah,
I will
they'll
think about
fight
it,
harder.
but thank you. But she gives you a look for Foley, and she says, "The accusation from your friend, though, has not gone unforgotten. For me, and
A historical poem. We've been over this.
I can say many historical poems, if I knew that as many as you, that would imply a great many things you would not wish to hear.
I've
Nevertheless,
heard the poem of the man who had a shovel and kept digging his hole and kept digging and digging and digging.
I know that one.
You
Bill of the
start
Shovel.
reciting it?
It's a great poem.
yep. Um, but I think she says, "I will still be around if you need me, and I may call on you for a favor before too much longer."
You'll know around where to find us.
She nods. Yeah, no, she heads off. Um,
I'd like to run into her like on the way back into town if that's possible.
sure. Yeah. Um, I think yeah, she stops and sees you like coming past her. I think she isn't gonna stop and say necessarily like hi to you. I don't know if you've talked to her directly that much yet. I don't think we've seen.
I'll just fall in step with her and say, I'm rightly sorry, ma'am, but you mind if I walk with you a mite bit here?
Sure, I was just getting ready to head back.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I'll try not to take up too much of your time. And I'm gonna produce the vial of poisoned blood and say, so, and forgive me if this is too forward. I understand it might be somewhat of a prickly topic, no pun intended. Um, who'd you piss off in what I'm sorry, what's the name of the plant people again? The
The Chaparral is
chaparral.
their nation name.
Yeah, which one of those chappies did you piss off? Because this is some potent stuff right here. And if my feelings are right about it, it was produced by them.
Hmm. Unless someone is lying, which of course it's a haven of pirates. Um, most of the people there are no friends of any of the great nations. I'm sure they have their agents among them, though.
Yeah,
Why
fair
be a
enough.
target? I honestly don't know. I couldn't tell you right now. I've been trying as. Oh, we weren't there, of course. I'm trying to establish new trade, but as far as I'm aware, it isn't related to the Chaparral at all, as far as I know.
Oh,
You're
ma'am,
sure that they produced this?
I reckon that's where it came from. So that's what spirits say, anyway. If I was you, I'd keep my head on a swivel.
She nods. I'll do some digging as well.
All right. Well, you know where to find us if things go south with you.
She nods. I can reach out to you as needed.
Well, you take care of yourself, and trust we'll see you soon, ma'am.
You as well, Mike. Yeah, and she heads out. Vorfoli, um, I think while you are lounging there, your dragon speaks to you again, actually. And It says, "Finally, she is gone. I have a task for you.
Oh, good God. What is it now?
There is someone you must slay."
Now you're speaking my language.
It's murder time.
Yeah. For the grave sin of lust, to the far northeast, seek a being known as Kron.
Could you spell that for me?
In your human or dwarven tongue,
Crayon?
Kron.
The dreaded crayon. Their lust for colors knows no bounds.
Yep.
You must have all of the colors.
Yep.
All right. What is this Kron? Is like this is all happening in his head? I assume
Yeah.
he's not just
I
speaking
think
out
I think
loud.
it's that's up to you as to how you respond, but
I
you're
think
hearing it
you
in your
have to
head.
speak out loud.
It's up
Or
to you.
Foley's having one of his damn fits again.
All right. So, what does this Kron look like? You know, like what level of lust are we dealing with here? Right.
In his lust for glory, Kron has slain dragons. Kron has slain armies. He is
Anything that he thought was cuter than him.
That's a
I'm
lot of
imagining-
things.
I'm imagining like this like big like buff dude with like scars everywhere, but he's in like a maid outfit and he's like all kawaii
And he's got a big axe. It's
and like cat ears.
He's putty
Yeah,
the dude from
putty
Baby Metal?
angel.
Like,
Is that Either way, he describes Kron, Dragon Slayer, as or Dragonbane, is his adopted surname.
So there was ulterior motives to this whole
I
murder
have
crime
no idea
plan.
what you're talking about. The
No.
dragon says when asked why he
What?
wanted
It's a revenge plan.
the Kron is a giant who has left the home
Mm.
of his people, wherever that is, to seek out stronger and stronger foes. His lust
Okay.
for glory is endless, and he will ruin whatever he can.
You're making me less confident in being able to kill this guy as you describe him.
I'm just very glad that it was a lust for glory because the other kind is a very different fight.
Yes, yes, it is.
Okay, here's a question about giants in this setting. Do they do the D&D thing where the taller giant's in charge no matter what?
We could do that if we want. We haven't decided. I'm what I will say I think right now is giants are very reclusive and not a lot of people know about things about them. I think let's establish this. They tend to live near the glaze, the volcanic area, and so like rarely wander away from it.
So he's a big
Ogre
oily giant, is what you're saying.
Probably.
Yeah, they have patches of like obsidian crusted onto their
Yep.
onto their skin from the
Okay,
volcanoes.
okay, I'm getting. All right, now he looks more like Arnold Schwarzenegger or The Rock, one of the two.
Neither of those people you want to fight.
No. Okay. Well, is there a time limit on this, or just?
It is nearby.
Oh, like, can you put the waypoint on my map? Like, what are you talking?
He cannot, but he says,
Your dragon chart has GPS.
yeah. He says, currently he wanders near the boiling lake. Well, not the boiling lake, the boiling mirror, which was mentioned last session as a nearby lake of mercury.
So, all right, I will let the crew know.
So now this makes me think at the bottom of the Lake of Mercury is another portal to the Mercury.
To the Mercury.
That's
dimension.
the worst possible plane.
And that means that you can then pop out from the Mercury dimension onto the Dwarven stronghold on the Mercury asteroid.
I don't know if we have a Mercury.
I don't know if you'd want a
asteroid.
Mercury asteroid
No.
necessarily.
Maybe no one lives there, but I think it's there.
I don't know that you want to find that portal. Getting there would
No.
probably suck.
Yeah.
Well, the first thing you do is, protect yourself from Mercury. We've got magic. How do we
Yeah.
do this?
It's a Mercury resistance potion.
boiling mercury resistance potion. Because if the mercury don't get you, the heat's going to.
Yeah, you need a heat resistance and mercury resistance, which
Yep.
if you mix potions, you might burp an explosion.
This is why skeletons were banned. They're too powerful.
Skeletons,
That's
just get
why.
in there. Okay. Thank you, great dragon spirit.
Do we have a name for him yet? Do you want a name for him? I
Um,
just thought of one if you wanted, but I don't know if you have one.
I thought I did, but I don't. So hit me with it.
Zadrax.
Ooh, Zadrax, the dragon spirit.
It can never just be Steve, can it?
No, that's a Myconid name. Myconids have the name like Steve and Bob and Mike, and that's kind of their thing.
Yeah.
That's their cultural.
Unfortunately,
names.
that's also I'm on the same page. That's how I name all of my like NPCs when I'm playing games. It's like, this is Greg, this is
is
Bill,
Tom.
this is Tom, that's Jetty.
That's how I
Like,
name my pet.
Mhm.
Oh. Yeah.
So I will finish my breakfast fish sandwich.
Mhm.
No sandwich, just a bag of fish.
And
Well,
a
it's
bag of
bag,
beer.
not a
Just a
sandwich.
bag with a beer in it. It's a breakfast of champions. I don't
It-
know.
V definitely added like hash browns. You found a hash brown cart. It just made fish.
Just throw them in there.
Yeah, just throw them in. All right. So the great Zadrax told me that we have a quest if we want to take it. He's nearby.
Does Hadrax pay?
He pays in glory and whatever we can loot off the guy's corpse.
You have to pick last.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine.
That
It's a
seems
giant.
fair. Yeah, you pick last.
Yeah, it's a giant. So whatever he has is useless to me because I'm 4 feet tall.
That doesn't inspire an awful lot of confidence going up against a dragon when you're like, I'm only 4 feet tall.
No, it's not a dragon. Let's be clear. It's a giant. Totally
Oh, that-
different. But he's by the boiling mirror. So I think we just kick his ass into the boiling mirror. Job done.
I'm gonna go
Easy.
back to 4 feet tall.
Right.
Is he
But
gonna-
that's
gonna-
why.
Gonna hide behind one of his ankles, but just push him over.
No, you cut his Achilles tendon. And then he can't walk anymore.
Do you have any good reason why he needs to die?
I was told that he's killing a lot of things that shouldn't be killed.
Such as.
Armies, dragons, people, towns.
You see,
Start
but it
listing.
were people, and he's
Yeah.
killing people.
Yes.
I mean, we could do with a few less armies around.
That
He
is
seems like
true.
he's doing a net good if he's taking out armies.
No, but he's not going to stop is the problem.
How about we just send more armies?
No,
Why?
because they need to fight the sprinkles.
Oh. Forgot
We're
all of
gonna
the other
ever
plastic
explain
world
that to
problems.
anyone who's like, "What's a sprinkle?"
Well,
Nope. We already know what sprinkles are.
well,
Sprinkles are basically, I call them Fablivion portals.
yeah. So I'm not doing a bardic knowledge, but do I know if you can shoot a giant?
You
Like-
don't need to do it. You don't need to use your abilities. You can shoot the giant. If we could stab a giant, you could shoot the giant.
You're saying, are they to know if they're bulletproof?
Yeah, I want to know if they're bulletproof.
But
Don't
As-
don't roll
as-
for that.
as far out as this is, that giant could be made of marshmallow for all we fucking know.
If you want to do either bardic knowledge or to ponder, you may.
Yeah, I want to ponder.
Okay, perfect. You ponder what you know about giants. Let's find out what.
There they are. Ponder.
Is it giants in general, or this specific? If you've heard anything about this specific guy, if he's such a glory hound.
Yeah, this guy. I want to know, what do I know about the guy
Kron.
who ate half a town?
Okay. Yep.
Roll 10.
Oh.
Perfect. So this guy is.
Ask a question.
Do you want to detail your question? I guess I was gonna just like answer your
On a
question.
10
What's up with this
plus,
guy?
the detailed useful truth.
Ask me one question about this guy. I guess is the thing with Ponder.
Yeah, what might be the best way to kill a
I
giant
don't know.
or something
What-
along those ways?
What might be the best way to shoot him to death?
Perfect.
With
No, you just
bullets.
toss down the
There's your
beanstalk.
10.
Yeah.
Giants do actually have very hard skin. So you usually want to shoot them in the soft organs, open mouth, eyeballs, that kind of thing.
Okay.
They aren't entirely bulletproof. Their skin isn't like made of stone or something like that. They do have obsidian patches on it, but that's usually like literally due to like lava burns, basically, and then they just keep the lava there, even though it is very, very painful.
Otherwise, you got to rip it off. Like it's
Yeah,
already
they
there.
kind of just heal around the cooled lava, and then it like
Yeah.
incorporates it into their skin. Those parts are obviously bulletproof, but that's not that common.
Giant body modification is fucking weird.
Oh yeah.
How big a giant are we talking here? 12 feet, 20 feet, 40 feet?
That wasn't the
8.
question. It was how do you shoot
8
him?
feet tall.
Good.
That was the best way to kill him.
What's the best way to kill him? Oh, it's actually what's the
Shoot him
best
in
way
the
to shoot
eyes.
him to death? Actually,
Yeah, that was.
and
that
the
was
answer
fun.
is in the eyes.
In the eyes.
You could,
Okay.
you could throw
Or
your
open
sword
mouth.
in his eyes
Go
too.
for the eyes, boo.
Do you have a sword? I don't have a sword. I
No.
have
I
a
have
gun.
a sword that I can throw, yeah.
Yeah. I have a warhammer, so I'm just trying to break his
Oh,
kneecaps. I
you're right. You're
guess.
asking about this specific guy.
Mhm.
You have also heard that the best way to shoot him to death is not just through the eyes, but you need to get him to take off his helmet first because
He's
he
got a
wears
helmet?
armor and helmet of dragonstone,
Oh.
which is very tough.
Hmm.
So
What is dragon stone? Is that like a dragon kidney stone?
it's kind of like a gemstone of sorts. We haven't really discussed dragons in too well. We have a lot.
Is it a
I want to run this
phase-
by
what's the-
Jordan
what's the
before I
goat thing?
semi-state, but also double check. I don't think dragons are like. I don't think. I think dragons are kind of like golems in that they're made of like rocks or gemstones or crystal.
Oh.
We did determine that, didn't we?
I thought we might. I don't remember if we actually
I don't
flat out said
remember
it.
doing that.
They just
but,
we've established they have a variety of like shapes and sizes.
Yeah, they like
but I
are
think-
different shapes, sizes, colors.
And they can all be in different colors, and so I think
Aren't they
they're
feelings based too?
They're like based
yeah.
on their like sin.
yeah, and
Is
they're
like
feelings.
what color they
They're
are.
feelings lizards. Okay.
but I like the idea they're kind of like made of kind of various stones or crystals, and that's
Mhm.
why like the shape and color and stuff can change very easily.
So it's made out of dragon. He
Made
crushed
out
up
of
a bunch
literal dragon. Yeah,
mixed it with some like goop and poured it into like he cast a big old helmet out of dragon.
Or he just took a dragon skull and put it on his head.
that is what he did. Yeah, there was
Hmm.
not something. There's not anything more.
So we have to
complicated
steal
than
his
that.
helmet, then shoot him in the face.
Yes.
Giant Cubone. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Cool. So, who needs some healing before we do this?
I'm fine, thank you.
Do you actually have anyone I could also help with?
I have a special. I have this.
I might or might not specifically be refusing help due to armor.
Yeah,
Can I
I'm
do
fine.
it anyway? Can I heal your arm anyway?
No, I'm fine.
I'm going to heal myself then, so then I'll have advantage forward to when we need to fight this guy.
Okay.
I'm
Yep.
gonna heal.
There's no
my-
roll for
my
that?
sl-
You just
Yep.
do it.
Just spend.
Spend
I-
if you spend supplies or medicine.
be interested in going on a quick shopping spree. I'd like to see if we can buy, Necromancy R Us, reincarnate this thing as a flesh golem.
Oh, actually, I'm going to use my supplies because I have
Just
more of
find
that
it in
than
the
I do
local
medicine.
bargain bin.
Yeah, we've got some money.
Yeah. Let's shopping episode.
I really don't want to actually roleplay it, but hey, if I can get this giant to, once killed, walk back with us to a town, and then
You want to
kill and
reincarnate
say
the
nothing-
giant?
Oh yeah, of course. That sounds like a great idea. Reincarnate's the wrong word, but move
wanna
under his
animate,
own power
reanimate.
somewhere more useful where we can then
But you're not a
get
wizard.
more from. Exactly. That's why you need a potion and a Mr. Bottle.
You want a potion of giant zombie?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm gonna buy whiskey and just refill the whiskey I used. I'm just buying booze.
So the first, do you start asking around the merchants, like, hey, do you have this? You don't see any on the shelves when you look around.
Yeah, just ask around.
Okay.
Yeah.
The first person you ask gives you a dark look and says, no, we don't have that. The second person gives you a darker look and says, sir, that is illegal. We do not support bone necromancy. That would be illegal, and my store would get shut down.
Yeah.
No, this isn't bones. I'm talking about flesh.
Yes, but what you're describing seems like it includes bones.
Not if you debone the person first.
So we need 2 potions. The
I
osteo
wanna-
removal potion.
Yeah,
I want to pull on Dallen's
the
shoulder.
Harry Potter
get his
Chamber of
attention.
Secrets wand spell that just removed all the bones. That.
I
pull
seem to
on-
be being hailed.
Yeah, you've been hailed. I'd like to let you know the proper way to go about this is you say you are selling a potion of giant zombie.
What good would that do? How on earth would I be able to buy some in that way?
Well, that means the person who's actually selling it knows that you're buying it.
Oh, all right then. Goes to the same second shop here. I am actually selling this very illegal. Do you know where I can find the person who's actually also selling it?
No, the person who's buying. The person who was buying.
They're watching this whole whispered discussion, no, tell them this.
I'm just gonna take
He's
your
like-
fish whiskey, please. Thank you. I just grab it.
Yeah,
and
he
go.
just does the transaction on the side while looking at you two.
Yeah,
I'm just
age-
going to state very loudly, I am not with them, but I find this extremely interesting, so I'm just going to stand right here, okay?
Yep. After a moment, the man says, "Are you with the guild?
Of course.
Can I see your license number?"
I rattle off a 6-digit number without showing me.
No, your card.
Oh, that got lost overboard when we came in.
He gives you just a long look, and he says, "I see. Well, if you are, I'm afraid that engaging in necromantic commerce without your license on your person, I think, is against guild policy. I'm gonna have to report you to the Necromancers Guild, unless I made some kind of mistake."
Like to back away from this transaction.
No, you don't need to do anything like that.
This is
Just-
actually a secret shopper, and you passed the test.
He continues
Yes,
while you're.
that's
Yeah.
good job. Very glad you don't sell anything illegal. Thank you very much. Bye. That went poorly.
He looks at you as you leave and doesn't say anything. There's still more shops you could try if you want to.
You want to piss off the rest of the town there, or
Ugh.
Dallen, you have a way with people.
Truly masterful, really.
I think you're better at stabbing them than talking to them.
Yeah.
Well, it might come down to that if he keeps talking. You know.
It's true.
Can I ponder where might one actually acquire a potion of giant zombie and or a
might.
potion of bone removal?
You might.
Reanimate tissue. Tissue is the key word.
Yeah. Okay, you might. You
Ponder.
might ponder that.
Any chance I can help? Nope, never mind.
You asked first before the roll went through. Would you accept that help? Indigo?
Sure.
Okay. Then you can roll another d6 and we can take the highest two. So if you get higher than, if you get another 5 or 6 basically with that, it'll go up. Yep.
Ooh.
That brings up to
Well,
a 10.
there we go.
To a 11 actually. So you already asked me the question. How might you know the answer is my question back to you.
May I suggest something?
There's a sign.
Yeah, you're helping, so I guess it's how either of you might.
There's a sign. The shop has a sign on it.
Ask who?
Vlad, our
Oh.
blood doctor.
No, you just look at the town directory basically.
Yeah, there's like a pillar in the middle of town, like at a mall.
Yeah. If you're looking for this place,
there's a chart.
This
And it
illegal
says-
thing is here.
And it's like black market here,
Only bone necromancy is legal, not all necromancy.
black market here. The store
Okay.
of flesh moving over here.
Yeah. So there is actually a branch of the Necromancers Guild here. It is small because it's a small village, but it is there. You know that pretty much
It's like a cigarette stand.
again,
It's
until
like one of those, like,
the whole
boxes.
issue with
One
bone
old grizzled
necromancy, which
guy in
only
there.
happened relatively recently, necromancy was seen as like the common practice of labor. Like, oh yeah, I'm a farmer, so I have 20 skeletons that work the field, kind of thing. It was like basically it's like a necromantic slavers guild is kind of what it is. We're just like they're the labor force.
Yeah.
So they have a branch here. They probably do in most small villages because they would help a lot with that.
Yeah, we're looking for a jumbo-sized muscle and tendon reviver.
Perfect. So you're okay. Yeah, they're where you want to go. They tend to charge guild rates, so it's not going to be cheap. But you would also know that in a town like this, there's probably not really a big enough black market for this kind of thing. But there's probably some, but it's going to be like they might have mixed other stuff in with those necromantic poultices kind of thing. You don't know what's really in it. So
I mean, you have to be a necromancer to know what's in it. It's a trade secret. So there's really no way to ever check necromantic.
no, unless your skeleton starts like being hostile to the living, which is something that all guild necromancy is verified to not be. Then yeah.
They
But
have their
the
guild
guild-
number on the potion bottle.
But the
that,
guild
like, of
also
who made it.
inspects themselves. Like,
Yeah.
it's not like they have an outside independent board that inspects the products.
No.
No, they have their own internal inspectors.
Okay.
Wander in there and let someone else do the talking, as has so masterfully been.
Yeah, this is a
Showcase.
normal store. We don't need to use trips. We can just buy the thing.
How much in that case?
So you go into the store, and yeah, what you see is they don't have products necessarily for sale, but you do see like a flesh golem is there as the assistant, basically. They've been set there to basically be on display. They're the only product that you can see there, effectively.
Because
Yes.
this is a fishing town, can it be a fish flash golem?
Yes.
Probably.
It's like a giant,
Oh, you-
a giant
just a
tuna
giant
with
fish
its
man.
fins sticking out, holding up a tray. With, like, pamphlets on it.
Yeah,
but
it just
it,
says,
like, its head moves
I
'cause it's
fished
very
these
much
myself.
alive.
Try it. See the quality, kind of thing. There's just a bunch of like small cooked anchovies or something.
There's something unsettling about a
fucked
fish
up.
without any bone. Like, how do you?
Wait a minute, are you gonna dress a chicken up as a butler and have it give you KFC? Like, what the fuck is going on?
The necromancers
Listen, it's
don't
just a
see anything
fishing
wrong with
town,
this.
so they have fish as flesh to use.
Fish is flesh. It counts.
Yep. And food.
Easier
And they
to
pick all the
shape it
bones
into a
out.
larger form of whatever it looked like before.
Yeah. Well, it's something. If there's not enough buyers for the fish, that's something else. They can sell the fish to the Necromancers Guild as material.
Oh, so this guy's stinky.
No, actually, one of the signs says like smell me, I don't stink, and there's like a big description of like here's the ointments and oils we use on these things, so they
It's
don't
a-
smell.
Always
there's
fresh,
like a
never
big-
frozen.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's the big like apothecary shelf back wall where they like mix you a custom.
Yeah, it's usually like it can be made to order, but it's like come back tomorrow or within
Yeah,
the week,
well, I
depending
was,
on what
I was
you
thinking
need.
they have like a base and they add flavoring to it for your custom effects.
Like Build-A-Bear Workshop.
Homunculus mix-ins.
if you want
I was
menthol-
thinking build a
if you
bear
want,
for
like-
build a golem.
Yeah, if you want like a mentholated scented fish golem, you gotta buy the mentholated powder. If you want,
I think
you
in
want
some
them
of
to
the,
have glowing eyes, you can
think-
get glowing eyes.
In some of the more bigger cities, they definitely would have that. I think here it's more just it's a lot more bare bones here. It's a smaller branch. There's only one person you see
Mm.
inside that is alive. Um,
Owner operator, got it.
Yeah, and she says, "Oh, hello. How can I help you?" And is very like classic. You entered a store and is very businessy.
Yeah, my friend hiding behind the fish over there is looking for a potion to bring a giant back.
A giant.
Yeah, he wants to. I don't know. Have it hold up disco balls at a party or something. Who knows? But he wants the giant to come back with him.
Well, that seems like an appropriate use as any. Let me see. And she like brings a large, heavy, like what in most fantasy would be like this dark necromantic tome. She opens it up and you see lists of like ledgers and prices and ingredients. And she's
Catalog.
like, yeah, it's the catalog. And
Like-
she's
Dark
it's all
spirits are
shadowed.
emanating off of it. Like,
Yeah, the
Yeah.
view of the shot is just like pulling it out from something, and it's in like harsh lighting and shadowed, and it pops down, and there's a plume of shadow. But when like it finally clears, it just looks like a catalog.
yeah, there's some
It's got the
drawings of
perfect
stuff in it
line.
and prices and lists. And she's just like, let's see here, giant. Here we go. Very okay. Some unusual ingredients in the. She starts like muttering to herself slightly, and then she stops herself and says, "Sorry, I'm just checking. It's been quite a while since, I think, many years since we've had a request for giant poultice. Yes, here it is. Looks like we still have just one in stock. Oh, it's expired by only by a couple weeks. Is that okay? We can't. I can't like. It's I.
I expect you'll give my friend a appropriately sized discount for selling,
Fine.
less than perfect goods.
She gives you a
Now,
look and she
is
says,
it the expiration date or a sell by date? Because those are
I
very
don't-
different
It
things.
doesn't matter.
"Yeah."
they just make those things up anyway. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, she looks at you for a bit, and she's like trying to gauge you to see if you're secret shoppers, and because she says like,
I'm
By-
trying to do an intensely equal stare
Yeah.
back.
she's like, by the guild policy, I can't sell you anything past the expiration date. But if I'm supposed to dispose of this by any way, well, there are very specific disposal rules, but can I trust you to dispose of this poultice for an appropriation fee?
Of
Fair
Now,
enough.
course.
Oh, that sounds like you want us to do you a favor.
No. Yes, you accept this.
Okay. Then it will only cost one wealth.
No.
Ma'am,
Hand it
Yeah.
over.
okay, never mind.
Yeah. It's one
We
wealth,
will
but it's a
dispose of this.
slightly expired.
Yeah, we will dispose of this. Wink.
Yep. She says, "Thank you. I trust your diligence in making sure that this poultice is properly disposed of."
Hold this. All right.
Right down the dead giant's throat. All right, let's go.
Um,
Oh,
So she
Before we go,
she goes and gets it. She didn't have it on her. She goes and gets it out. It's for a giant. The poultice is.
it's like 4 gallons.
I was gonna. Yeah, I think it's a small keg.
It's a cask. It's like
Yeah.
one of those that are like this big
Yeah.
and about this big around, but still like
Yeah,
banded.
it's technically carryable, but for one person. So she does. She's like, and then like drags it over and thunks it down on the desk, and she says, "There we go."
It's a little bit more viscous than you'd hope it would be.
Yeah, you hear
And
like
you can feel it as it moves.
We're gonna need a trebuchet to actually throw it at him.
now, just like with all necromantic poultices, this will only work once the subject is already dead. If you have any conditions or concerns, well, don't come looking to me because you were supposed to have disposed of this.
Hypothetically, if you give it to the person while they're still alive, what happens?
Anything outside of instructioned use for any poultice that we have, not this one because you're
Not
definitely going to
recommended.
dispose you, is completely outside of our purview, and we do not recommend it. We put bold text on the potion.
You might
it's
not
also-
recommend it, but what could
You said
possibly
poultice,
like
so I'm assuming
wine?
we got-
Oh, it
that's
can
positive.
be. It can vary wildly from the spirit will haunt you for the rest of your days to
It reanimates your ghost while it's still inside of you. So now you have your ghost controlling your own flesh.
yep.
Could one of the
It
side
could-
effects be death of the person that you're trying to reanimate if they're not dead yet?
Unfortunately, that's very rare. It's usually something much
Mm.
worse.
Like you vomit
Cronenberg
spiders forever.
Okay.
She says only once did that happen. That was a chain reaction of unique causes where they turned into spiders.
24 was a great vintage.
The spider vintage.
Yeah, when you vomit your own skeleton out as little reanimated bone spiders. It
Oh,
was
if
a,
only they
it was
can
a
remake it,
wonderful
then we'll
year.
have no problems.
Yep.
I mean,
But yeah.
I'm fairly certain spiders don't have bones.
Well, your bones
No,
turn
your bones
into
turn
spiders.
into spider shapes and then crawl out of your mouth.
Your bones turn into spiders.
I'm pretty sure we traumatized someone who might be
Yeah,
listening to that.
that's-
No, arachnophobia and osteophobia. How could I have both at the same time?
Okay, so she sells you the poultice. Congratulations.
Before we go, I just want to speak to her quickly and say, ma'am, I noticed that, well, no disrespect, your guild seems to have a somewhat smaller presence in this area. Is that the case? Just you here and your friend?
Most of the workers already have all of the labor that they need, and the market for boneless labor is a bit smaller than it used to be.
Well, my question was more towards the enforcement duties that your guild has and any outstanding issues you may have not been able to address due to a lack of manpower. We are a skilled group of individuals and figured I'd offer my services if there was any unticked boxes in your to-do list.
I appreciate it. And she kind of like gives you a look and she says, I don't know you well enough to pay you in advance, but there is something I wouldn't mind if you brought back proof of doing.
Forgive my appearance, I am all ears.
Yeah. She says, one of my associates has decided to start up his own business outside of the guild in, well, outside of town as well, some distance away. He's decided to sell his services to nearby farmers who also might be outside of the purview of regular, say, guard patrols or witnesses. And so he has decided to offer bone necromancy.
Bone witch.
That
Now-
scoundrel.
And yeah,
Damn
now she's
osteophiles.
You must be taken out. I understand.
Yep. And she says,
You've-
the
you've all
bounty
heard
is,
the
of
good
course, still
words.
open. So I shall pay you from that if you return proof.
Now, is that perhaps in a northeasterly direction?
She thinks to herself. And she says,
What do you hate?
the no. I think the road would go to the general east. So it's not that far off. And he's
We
somewhere
can
off the
stop
road.
on
She
the
doesn't
way.
know specifically where he's based at. He's somewhere like in the woods around the road that goes to the east.
Hmm.
But yeah,
Yeah.
he's
We kill
not
the
too out
bone
of the way.
witch. We take a head. We kill the giant. We have the giant carry the head back.
Yeah.
Yeah. We will
Perfect.
look into your bone hobo.
No, that's a different thing. Bone hobos
Okay.
collect. They do not reanimate.
Yeah, very different. Anymore,
Perfectly
probably.
legal.
They might.
Yeah.
But yeah, she smiles and she nods and she says, "Well done." Anything
Um,
else that I can help you with?
No, I wanted to ask my team if we should buy another item not from your store.
I see. Well, it was
Unless
a
you sell
pleasure.
trap kits.
I do.
I
Not.
have a trap kit.
Oh, you do? Okay, never mind. We don't need one.
What do you need a trap for?
We can
Do
set
we
a trap for the giant.
How do you set a trap for a
It
giant?
just says a trap
With a
kit.
large dead sheep and a big spiky club. I don't fucking know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
She's just watching your conversation with each other, and she's just
feel
like,
like I don't feel like a little rabbit trap will do anything.
Okay,
No,
but
it's-
then what about mercury poisoning? Can we do anything to
We just-
prevent
Oh,
that?
good. We
Just-
want a crazy giant. That's helpful.
We just need
No,
to trip him
not
into
for
the
him, for
boiling
us.
mercury.
Oh, to protect
And if we
against
do
it.
that, exactly, what will we do with the
I
potion?
say we just embrace it.
Just embrace the crazy.
It's worked this far.
All right. Does anyone else want anything?
No, I think I'm good.
I'm
Yeah.
out of money
Hot
left
bullets
for money,
earlier.
so
Yeah. All right. To whichever one we come across first.
which one are you aiming for first?
The bone witch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Probably the bone witch.
That sounds like you are. Here we go. Nope, not here we go. Navigating. When you venture out in lengthy pursuit of a quarry. So,
Mm.
whoever wants to do it, roll with no stat, unfortunately. If you already know the location of your quarry, roll with advantage. That isn't the case here. And we'll see what happens depending on the roll. Who wants to roll a flat 2d6?
Who's
Uh,
our navigator?
Mike.
Mike's our
Mike.
navigator.
Likely, yeah, probably.
Okay.
Okay.
So we all turn to Mike and say, "So
It's your job, and you navigate.
Mhm.
Perfect.
I'm wondering if I can get around navigation with shape-shifting into a falcon whose drive is to hunt. Or is that too much of a stretch?
I don't think that would help you. That would fictionally help you see things coming. But that wouldn't help this roll, as far as I could
Fair
tell.
enough. Fair enough.
You can still do it if you want to, but yeah.
Yeah, let's just try the no stat roll.
'Kay.
2 dice. No advantage. That's a 5.
Okay. So on a 5, all 3 happen. So you are exhausted and distracted. Each of you takes a condition.
Hooray.
great.
Wisdom.
I'm
Exhausted.
rattled.
Charisma.
I keep hearing xylophones in the wind."
I'm angry.
Rattle.
Yep.
Hired Dex.
You are noticed by your quarry or by something else, and they act accordingly, which I will describe in a sec. And you are impeded. A significant obstacle stands between you and your quarry. So, I think, yeah, I think that you, as you venture out off of the road, in the direction where you think this person is, you find. I'm thinking of a few potential things, but I think it's going to be a large. Bone golem actually is guarding the area for intruders.
Golem. Nice.
Yeah, it's this like 10-foot tall like creature of many bones stitched together that is guarding the area, and I think
Does it see us before we see it?
um
As a result of the
I
roll,
don't
I
think yeah, you're just distracted from the condition, but I don't think there's a I think you see each other at the same time basically.
Does it act aggressively?
Yes. Just a
No,
sec.
it's where the xylophone noises were coming from. It's got two mallets playing its ribs.
Oh my goodness. You know
I'm
what? I'm
just
going to actually say
imagining
yes.
that VR game.
Wait, what? You just said yes?
It plays music on
Aggressively
itself.
xylophone
Aggressively xylophones.
I would like to shoot it.
Careful. When you see it playing the xylophones, that means it's going to be aggressive in attack.
Yeah,
it might
I would
be
like
near
to.
its offspring.
It was playing until it saw you, and then it stopped playing it.
The xylophone one.
I would like to crouch down, pull up behind a rock, and shoot it in the face.
Okay. With a gun.
Yes, with a gun.
Okay. There's a crack in the air, a hole in its skull, and it doesn't seem to notice as it continues to lumber forward.
Guys, problem.
I charge in with my hammer and I go break some bones.
Okay. So, the golem, yeah, is like, yeah, as I said, 10 feet tall, like wide arms, overly sized arms. Like it can just, like, kind of gorilla-esque stature and shape. And it will reach down to try and grab you with its arm as you rush towards it. I think in order... Are you just trying to engage it in melee, basically?
Yeah, I'm just gonna fight it.
Okay. If you're trying to fight its arm itself, then that would just be engaging. If you are trying to get past its arm to something else, then that would be probably defying its reach.
No, I will break the bones as they come to me.
Okay. Roll with strength to engage.
And I have advantage forward for healing myself from earlier.
Yes, you do.
Advantage. An 11.
Very nice. Okay. You trade blows. Which one do you pick? Do you avoid their attack or inflict an extra condition or take something from them?
I'm gonna inflict an extra condition.
What, not take the xylophone mallet?
No.
Perfect.
I don't know. Could be pretty valuable.
Um,
Calm it down.
Yeah, and as it's reaching to me and I break its arm, V's gonna look back at Bert and go, "Fear not, Bert. I will crush its bones." Oh, and get hit by whatever it does to me.
Yep. Okay. So you inflict an extra condition, you said?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. As you smash its bones, you don't have piercing on your weapon, do you?
No, it's just a warhammer.
Okay. You smash its bones, and it, I think, grabs you around its hand anyways with its broken fingers. Some of them fall away, but still enough of them in its thumb are still there enough to pick you up. And then it will, in one surprisingly fluid motion, throw you towards the next closest person. Anyone want to volunteer?
Volunteer? No, but that's probably me.
Perfect. I don't think you're able to. I don't think Dallen, you don't take a condition from this guy. But you do get hit, and more fully still takes a condition, mostly from the
good.
crushing before you were thrown.
Good thing I wore my airbag suit as I hit the ground and go, poof, and I use armor.
The creature then tucks its arms and legs into itself as it slightly reshapes the bone structure and starts rolling like a giant boulder towards
A
Bert.
bolt.
Oh, rolling towards me. I would like to.
It's kind of rolling towards all of you, but you mostly.
Yeah, I'm in the way. I would like to use my arcane art and unleash a volley of bullets, cursing it to having small holes everywhere,
Right, your
reducing
arcane art is
its armor by
insults.
2. You're weak. You're fragile. You can't even roll right, and I would like to pepper it with bullet holes to drive the point home.
Okay. Are you doing anything to stop it? That would not and does not stop it from rolling towards you as it keeps
Nope.
going.
Yeah. I don't have anything. Just keep shooting.
Okay.
Yep.
Does anyone intervene to save Bert, or does it roll over him?
I stand in defense of Bert.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Yeah, no, if we can untangle ourselves, I would be.
You
good
can.
with that.
Yeah.
Okay,
Then,
I'll
yeah.
let
Its
you do
armor
it.
is now reduced by 2 if anyone wants to shatter it.
Oh, go for it.
Absolutely, I'd love to.
Before that, I'm kind of standing back and like just watching this. I'd like to examine and see if there's a weakness that we can exploit because physical attacks don't seem to be doing much.
Nope. Let's do the defense first, but then fictionally you're doing that at the same time as the defense, so it'll happen
Fair enough.
one after the other. Who is rolling for the defense? This is probably a defy. And how does it look like? How are you stopping this creature from attacking Bert?
I'll roll for the defy if that's all right, but I will absolutely accept help.
Can I roll for the defy? Because my courage would. Here. Because I have courage, the top.
Oh yeah, refuse to
If
let
I
those with power
physically
abuse
stand in defense of another, they will not be
Oh.
targeted or harmed.
Yeah, that's
it.
awesome.
Yeah, so you
go ahead.
you automatically redirect it, or not redirect it. You automatically stop them from being hurt.
Yeah.
Okay, that is still defying, but then them being hurt is not on the line for this defy. It's more you.
If you would like to help me, I would very much appreciate it.
And what does it look like when you do that? Are you just like standing in front of it? Do you have a shield or something, or how?
Yeah, I have a shield. So I think I'm standing in front of him and I'm putting my shield up and I'm wanting to try to like roll it, like
Pinball
ramp
the
it.
You're gonna be a
boulder
ramp?
Yeah.
You put your warhammer down mallet head first, and you angle it so that props up the shield.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Make a little ramp.
Dallen, you help with that? You just like stand behind Verfoli and like help him keep the shield up?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. That sounds like you're defying with strength,
Yeah.
Yeah.
trying to not get crushed. Okay,
3.
roll it. You have advantage, so it's 3 dice total on the macro.
And as stated before, I have a little whiskey thing on my shield. So as I'm behind it, I'm gonna go and take a sip of whiskey.
Right, I forgot about that.
What does whiskey give you?
It gives me
If you're doing
advantage.
something brave, hardy, or foolish, you get advantage. So
I think this is all of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. Strength. Oh.
Well.
Okay. Perfect. So that was actually quite a good and potentially necessary roll.
Mhm.
So I think, yeah, against all odds, the mass of rolling bones rolls up over your shield and flies into the air just above Bert and crashes to the ground. As it does so, it like unfolds its limbs, but now it seems to have the 6 limbs. It's acting now like more of a spider as it unfolds in its body, and the mass around its center has now it now has like each of the spider limbs are pretty thick and powerful. You are watching all of this happen, Mike, from a distance. Why don't you examine to see what you can see? I call this a charge situation.
Yeah.
Okay.
7.
So ask me one question about this creature. Well, about the situation.
Yeah, I'm just looking for a weakness that we can exploit. Like what looks like the best way to disable this thing.
what you know and what you can spot is that each of the individual bones on this creature has some kind of sigil that has been carved into it as part of the necromancy. Um, one of the bones, usually one of the biggest ones near the center, has a copy of all of those sigils. Usually, it's covered in it. Um, Carved, and it's like if this would be the equivalent of like the gemstone you hit kind of thing. If you can destroy that specific bone, then the magic that binds all the others
It's the
bones to
index,
it.
so the skeleton knows what bones
Yeah,
to
it's the
control.
bone heart.
It's the Arduino inside of it. Yeah.
So there's one bone that's just covered in sigils. Um, you glimpse it briefly. It's still in the center mass of this creature as it like shapeshifts basically.
Okay. So I'll call out to anyone. There's a master bone, and we have to destroy the master bone inside. Point it out.
Okay.
Is it underneath the spider now then? When
It's still in the main body of the spider.
Oh,
It's still
okay.
like in the chest. It doesn't keep it. It's not visible, obviously, right now. So
Conveniently, it's its pinky.
But we need to make it change shapes.
yeah, it was only revealed briefly while it changed shapes.
Can I charge at the thing and like hack at a couple of legs on one side and see if I can if it lopsides it's then it'll have to change shape into something more useful.
That makes sense. Okay. That
I
sounds
would
like you're
to
engaging it.
assist.
Okay.
I think you're
Yes.
needed. Well, I guess I can shoot it. Prevent.
We fight
I will-
together because that's how you get more XP and not die.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, engaging it sounds good with strength. Where's the rolls here? Beautiful. And I have one source of disadvantage, one source of advantage, so those just cancel out, so
Yep.
2 dice and perfect.
Regular roll.
And 9.
Okay. So, you trade blows with them, but yeah, I think in this case you're able to hack away at some of their limbs. One of them you're able to chop off, before the other one, that is the other closest one, will. I think it's actually gonna elongate itself and wrap around you like a snake or a tentacle and start crushing you.
Great.
And yeah, you will take a condition and be actually sorry, both of you. You're helping. So in that case, two of its limbs turn into that.
Turns into a worm.
Yeah, a worm or something like that. And yeah, it grabs both of you in separate arms and starts crushing each of you. Take a condition of your choice from that.
Oh no, I
I
got
think I'm
boned.
going to. I think I'm going to, let my tin can plate armor take some of that crush damage. Thank you.
Okay. Mike and Bert, you both see this happening to your fighter friends. They're for now trapped.
Is there an opportunity for a shot on that on what we need to hit during this?
It hasn't actually shapeshifted yet.
But the Dallen succeeded. Wouldn't that make it?
It has been damaged, but on a 10+ you can choose to take something from them, and like taking their mobility basically was not fully taken. So it's partly damaged, but not enough that it needs to shapeshift yet. It's just shifted its arms, but it's still able. It still has enough limbs to be able to move. But you're partly there.
I mean, I could go up and try to free someone or try to force it to change its shape.
Get it to let us go so that we've got 2 more people back in the fight?
Yeah, that's probably what I need to do. I just need to figure out the best way to do that. I don't like attacking directly. That seems foolish. That seems the realm of people that that die quickly.
I'm only 2 conditions away from death.
I know, same. It's almost like
You're fine.
Yeah.
fine.
Bert, do you want to do something while Mike's thinking it over?
I don't have anything to shoot him. I don't have a target. I am.
Want to try and get his attention? Its attention?
Yeah.
All right.
I would like to. I would like to shoot it and run around it in a circle, making it break its own neck.
Doesn't have a spinal cord, it won't matter.
That's the
I
part. It's a distraction.
forget the
It is a
breaking its own neck
distraction.
part, but it would work as a distraction or a way to be so mobile it decides to change shape to be more mobile to get to you.
Yeah.
So I
But-
think that the primary thing of this is not getting its attention; it's avoiding it long enough to make it change shape. So you're defying with dexterity, in my opinion, as it like keeps trying to grab you or hit you, and you have to get out of the way. Do you agree?
Now, would we consider this subterfuge?
No.
If the goal is to make it, drop us, I can see that.
I
Well, the
don't
goal is
think
to
this is
give it something else.
subterfuge.
It's something else. Okay, I'll roll with Dex.
Okay.
Defy with dexterity. Beep boop 7.
Okay, perfect. Um, so I think you do it. But I think in return, you'll only be able to do it if you make a costly sacrifice or ugly choice. Um,
Sorry, Folomir dies.
no, it's not which of them die. It's focusing on you, and so it will focus on you. Um, I think it'll only. Is that a thing? I think you might have to leave behind something you have, for it to get crushed. What do you have on you?
Not a lot. Really, not a lot.
Your
Your
I got a
punch
backpack.
card.
your punch card,
But a
your
punch card's
pipe
this
leaf,
big.
your pipe leaf. I think
That's
it
all in
might.
the backpack.
Oh, I think it might be your like bag of adventuring gear. Basically, it like starts grabbing onto it, like literally, like it's enormous limb, and then one of the hands comes off, like reaches from the limb and starts grabbing at your backpack full of adventuring gear.
Yeah, I think I lose my whole backpack.
It's your choice, but yeah.
No,
Okay.
it grabs my whole backpack and I wriggle out of it and continue shooting it.
Okay. And to be clear, this is like it's destroying your bag of adventuring gear. It's grabbing it like that was what the choice is yours.
Yeah, I'll recover the like literal bag, but yeah, I'm at
Stuff in
0
it.
uses of
Yeah.
adventuring gear.
Stuff in it gets crushed. Okay.
Speaking of adventuring gear, as this thing is waving around, can I get some rope out of mine and try and, tie two of the limbs together? I'm being
You're
gripped in one if
able to
anyone else gets nearby.
You absolutely can try that. You're doing it while being crushed. So I
Mhm.
think you would need to figure out a way. Are you just like pushing your way past that? Or are you being slippery?
Um, I think it's just a matter of, just reaching, I guess. It's around the middle, I assume, so.
Um, it's not been established yet. Yeah, I think let's go with then getting the rope isn't the problem in that case. Tying it around two of the limbs while being grappled by one of them would be a
Yeah.
problem.
Very much so. I think that my goal is,
You like lassoing or throwing the rope?
Not necessarily lassoing, but you've got one bit of it in each hand and just kind of like chucking a loop of it around something else to pull it that way because hey, I'm being grappled by a limb, it can either let me go and therefore that other limb will be able to get free or it's got two limbs stuck together.
Okay. Sure. In that case, I think the problem would be whether or not you can get the rope around the other one. That'll be dexterity.
Perfect. Defy with dex.
Yep.
And yeah, I don't think I can also drink some whiskey while being grappled. That's a little much.
You could pull out one item.
Yeah.
Oh no,
you
I
don't
have
have
whiskey.
a whiskey hat, unfortunately.
Aw, come
Didn't I
on.
mention I
What
always
kind of
soak
ghost
my ropes in
pirate?
whiskey?
Yeah.
What kind of ghost pirate doesn't have a whiskey hat?
No, they have
Yeah,
a rum hat. That's totally different.
The rum hat is for other things.
Just depends on if you're on shore leave or not. Oh.
Yep. Okay.
How many dice? 3, disadvantage. And
Whiskey doesn't work at sea. You have to use rum.
Ah.
It's a 6. Oh,
That's
wait,
a
no.
6.
That's
Oh,
a
a 6 is
six.
bad.
Yeah, no, it's not Blaze in the Dark, unfortunately.
I know.
And there's nothing I can do to make that better afterwards.
You lose a
Okay.
foot.
No.
In height, it
I
takes you out at the shins.
Both feet.
Do I lose my hat?
No, you don't lose your hat.
It's an
I
ear.
think you take another
Okay.
condition.
No matter what happens, we're okay. I still have the hat.
Is this you building up the hat so that later you can be like, that's a costly thing to take that hat from me. I love that hat.
What we need to do is make that an alcohol hat where you could put bottles of alcohol in it so you could drink whiskey like I did with my shield.
See, when we settle in, I'll spend some time modifying it, just making it more appropriate and helpful.
Yep. I think the other limb, I think what happens is you do get around the other limb, but these things are stronger than you expected. It just like in a moment where you're like, oh, I got it, it just pulls the rope out of your hands. As you're trying to pull it back, but you get like rope burn around your hands, and then the limb that is crushing you, I think it's just going to keep crushing you worse. It's going to inflict a condition and wrap itself around your arms too.
Yeah, my armor will take. Well, wait. If I take another condition, I can actually have battle momentum and do something useful. Sure. I am winded. That definitely affects my charisma.
It pushes all of the wind out of you.
Yeah.
Mike!
Yeah.
However,
yeah,
as there was still a success with Bert's Defy, and
Huzzah.
so the creature now begins to shapeshift. I think it begins to turn into a. I think it actually starts turning into like a snake-like creature. All of the limbs begin to merge into one long body that is still like staying wrapped around in various places around both Werfoley and Dallen.
It's in like a ribcage prison.
Well, no, it's
Inside the
still like
monster.
wrapped, but the what looks like a tentacle or a limb starts turning into like the main body of a giant serpent, basically, still wrapped around them.
All right.
Very
Well,
long.
I will.
But you see a glimpse of a sigil-covered bone
Rhino
as it
charge it.
shapeshifts.
Yeah, belying my normal blasé attitude, I think I will sprint forward and spear extended, dive toward that bone and try to destroy it.
Okay.
Oh god, I want 3 conditions. Yeah, I do because I want advantage.
If you'd like to, you can push yourself for this to get advantage. Yeah. Oh,
that's what I was doing. Was taking the condition for pushing.
Okay. Bert,
I'm
you are still
gonna
free.
say-
Do you want to help, or the others could feasibly maybe help by trying to distract it?
I
mean,
will
I've
help.
already done a bunch of help. I've transformed it. I've taken away its armor.
You
I
did.
feel like Bert's paid his dues here.
I'm gonna help by
Bert's too old for this shit.
I'm helping by like I'm being squeezed by it, right? I'm gonna just try like hitting it with my hammer, like it's more distraction than actually hurting it.
Your main hammer is locked up, but you pull out your auxiliary hammer and begin tapping.
Take the
Yeah.
hammer and jam the
Well-
gears so it can't fully form. Like jam it between
Oh.
2 bones that need to go together.
Yeah, I do that.
Okay. You are helping.
Yeah. I'll actually help in a similar way, I guess, if I can also use the momentum to taunt or aggravate it and basically distract it a little bit. By
Yes.
hammering on the snake's nails with the sword.
Yep. You definitely can distract it. It's pretty easy when you're going to be in its body.
All right.
So you have
All right,
two
so
sources
that's-
of advantage.
2 sources of it. So that's 4 dice total.
Yep.
Okay. With advantage. Better be a good roll. It's a fucking 9. Are you kidding me? A 9?
Yep. Yep. This is why I knew that this was how it's going to work. Okay. So, you still trade blows. You're still able to get it. I think there's a
Oh wait. I
You should
pushed
have
myself.
another
I had
source.
3 sources of
you
advantage.
did push yourself. Okay, then yes, roll another d6 and
more
hope it's
die.
higher than a 2.
It's also
Gah!
It's a fucking 2.
no. You have another source because you're going off of the information you examined.
That's true. Roll another
Oh,
d6.
Who's gonna get higher than 2?
But wait, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
All right.
I
Cool.
mean, the momentum thing that I was using technically said I
Wait,
redirected
question.
armor to me, so
It says, oh, you're keeping the 2 4s.
So you can redirect harm from one. I'd say from one person to you, because what's happening is everyone who's helping is going to take a
Right.
condition. Because what's going to happen is, you.
yeah, I'm good. Thanks. Sorry, guys.
Bone explosion.
Yeah, actually, there's a I don't think you can read necromantic ruins, I assume. But yeah, I think what ends up is like you stab the ruin, you stab the bone, and it's like starts shattering, and then all of the ruins start glowing this bright, like fiery yellow red color, and then just explodes. All of them like bone splinters everywhere. Bert, you're far enough away to be safe,
Yeah.
but then yeah,
I guess
Mike.
a sensible option.
Yep. The rest of you take a
Um,
condition.
I'm going to
Oh,
armor
no.
that.
Rock and
Bones
roll in
again.
the armor. And now I am one condition away from traumaing out.
After this fight, if I could heal people, and I also get healed because of my other devout virtue. So
So-
let me heal people.
Let's go to break with the bone golem dealt with.
Oh,
Hmm.
it died?
Oh, it died?
It did, yes. So once the
Oh.
central bone was dealt with, the entire golem kind of exploded. Mostly the other one. The rest just kind of fell apart.
Okay.
But yes,
Yep.
Lying on
Oh,
the
awesome.
ground.
yeah. The
Yeah,
both
just
the
Rolled
rest of
in a
you.
ball of armor.
Bone shrapnel sticking out of various places of your body. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
not great.
Yep. And we'll go to break with that.
Yeah.
We'll be back in a few minutes.
I'm never getting a different weapon, by the way.